Hey Brew Crew, welcome back to Beer City Board Games. Today's video is going to be a State of the Channel update. I just realized I haven't done one of these since 2024, which is honestly kind of wild. So I figured we're overdue for a check-in. I wanted to talk about a few things, how the channel has grown over 2025, what I've learned and tweaked behind the scenes, what's staying and what's going away, and what I'm planning for in 2026. This isn't going to be some super formal PowerPoint presentation vibe. It's more like me sitting down and catching up with you because I genuinely love this community and I love talking games with all of you. So yeah, let's do it. First off, the most obvious update, the channel grew a lot this past year. At the start of 2025, I was sitting at 758 subscribers, and at the time that I am recording this video, we are at 975, which means we are getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber milestone. And I'm not gonna lie, that feels really cool. Like in the grand scheme of YouTube, that's not I bought my third yacht numbers, but for a board game channel that's basically fueled by enthusiasm, cardboard, and whatever caffeine happens to be in my system on a given day, that's huge. And more importantly than just the subscriber number, I feel like the channel is finally turning into what I originally pictured when I started it. More consistent, more focused, better production, and more people actually finding the content and sticking around. So if you've subscribed, commented, liked, shared, any of that, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Another big thing that changed in 2025 is the look of the channel. You may have noticed that we've got a new logo, cleaner design, more polished, less I threw it together at 2 a.m. and I'm really happy with it. Big thanks to Rich and Trail Nasty Graphics for the redesign. It's still very much the same channel, but I'm trying to develop a branding that feels a little bit more intentional and consistent across thumbnails and videos. Because obviously visuals matter on YouTube more than any of us really want to admit. So yeah, new logo, cleaner design, and overall trying to keep things looking a bit more professional without losing any personality. One thing that hasn't changed, I am still consistently tweaking stuff. I'm always learning new things about YouTube, adjusting, experimenting. Sometimes it's stuff like how I title the videos, thumbnail layouts, pacing and runtime, how to improve discoverability. And honestly, YouTube is kind of a monster. You think you've got something figured out, and then the algorithm changes its mood like a cat that you've been petting too long. But I do feel like I'm improving the craft side of this, making videos that feel better to watch, flow better, and hopefully reach more people. And I'm going to try to keep doing that because I'm not trying to game the system. I'm just trying to make sure the videos have the best shot possible of getting in front of the right audience. So let's talk about something I experimented with a little bit in 2025. I did dabble in some AI-generated art and music for the channel. And I know that's one of those topics that immediately gets opinions flying in all directions. But I'll be honest with you about my experience. I tried it and I didn't like it. It just felt too impersonal. The look wasn't quite right for the channel, the vibe felt off, and the music especially just didn't feel like me. So I made the decision to move back to licensed music and go back to using human-made art and graphic design. Not because I'm trying to take a moral stand or make a big dramatic statement, it's just because it didn't match what I wanted Beer City Board Games to feel like. I want this channel to feel personal, like friends sitting around a table, not a content factory. So that experiment is officially filed away under, well, we tried it. Now, another thing from 2025, I started a series called People's Choice, and the idea was really simple. It was my attempt to get the community more involved in the videos, taking their comments or their own video clips to discuss a certain board game related topic. I'm gonna level with you, there just wasn't much interest in it, and that's totally fine. It happens. Sometimes you try something new and it clicks, other times you try something and it just kind of quietly sits there. So for now, I'm going to be discontinuing People's Choice. I'm not calling it a failure or anything. I still like the idea of community-driven content, and I might revisit something like that later. It might just need a different format or different timing, maybe a different look. We'll keep that idea on the shelf for now. Conventions were a big part of 2025, and they're definitely going to be a big part of 2026. This past year, we went to the usual three: Origins Game Fair, Gen Con, and Grand Con. And honestly, those conventions are such a huge part of what makes this channel feel alive. I love the games, obviously, but I also love the experience, meeting people, seeing the new releases early, discovering weird stuff that I've never heard of, chatting with publishers and designers, and honestly just soaking in the energy that you can only get from a convention. And the daily vlogs during the cons are some of my favorite content to make. They are exhausting, but they are so fun. So for 2026, the current plan is to attend those same three conventions again: Origins, Gen Con, and Grand Con. But I'm also adding GameCon in Iowa in early March, which I am really excited about. And I may also try to hit a couple smaller local conventions depending on how the schedule shakes out. And I will say this: if you have suggestions for conventions in the Midwest area, please let me know. Drop them in the comments, because I'm always interested in finding more of those hidden gem cons, the ones that maybe don't get talked about quite as much, but still have a great community and a great game library. That being said, it's also a goal of mine someday to get to more of the other big conventions here in the US, like PAX Unplugged or BGG Con, and who knows, maybe Essen someday. And if you see me at a con, please say hi. I promise I'm friendly. Next big update, my top 100 board games of all time. That series has been a huge undertaking, as usual, and we are finally getting close to the finish line. At this point, there are only a few videos left, so if you've been watching those, thank you. And if you've been waiting for the end to binge it all at once like some kind of maniac, honestly, I respect that. But yeah, we are approaching the final stretch, and I'm really excited to wrap it up strong. And once that series is done, it opens the door for more variety and new series ideas, because that top 100 schedule has been a beast to keep up with. I'll also add that while we don't do a ton of reviews on this channel, we did get to review some really great games in 2025, and we have even more slated for 2026 that should be going up very soon. All right, this next part is a little more personal. It's still relevant to the channel though, and the schedule going forward. In October, I was laid off from my real job. So yeah, obvious downside, less money. But the upside, more time. And because of that, my intention going into 2026 is to try to improve the regularity and consistency of the uploads while I actually have the time to do it. My goal is at least 2 videos per week, and continuing the daily vlogs when I'm at conventions. Because consistency is something I've been working toward for a long time, and I finally have the opportunity to focus on it. I'm trying to keep things steady without burning out and leaving enough time to keep up the job search. And I want to be transparent about something. This channel costs money. It's not a crazy amount of money, but between travel, hotel, conventions, badges, camera gear, editing software, and all the other stuff, it adds up fast. So I'm going to mention this here, and these state of the channel videos are the only place I try to mention this. If you'd like to help support the channel and help me get to conventions, or even help me add more conventions to the schedule, I do have a Ko-fi page where you can do either a monthly subscription or a one-time tip. We also have merch available through Spring, which is linked right here on the YouTube page. No pressure, obviously. This channel will continue either way, but for those of you who have asked how you can support it, those are two ways. And I'll put a link to both of them in the description below. Also, stay tuned because there may be other ways to support the channel coming soon. But honestly, the biggest thing you can do to support the channel is completely free. Just keep engaging. I'm serious. I love reading the comments. I love seeing people discussing the games. I love seeing the likes, and I don't even mind seeing the thumbs down either, because at least that means you cared enough to click a button. It's still engagement. But the one true favor I'd ask is this: recommend the channel to your friends. If you've got people in your life who are into board games and you think they'd enjoy this vibe, let them know. If you see a Facebook post or a Reddit thread asking for board game channel recommendations, throw Beer City Board Games into the mix. That kind of word of mouth support genuinely helps more than almost anything else. It's how the channel reaches people who actually enjoy it, the folks who want board game coverage that's enthusiastic and honest. Because to be real, I'll take 5 engaged subs over 5,000 who never come back to the channel any day. So yeah, that's the state of the channel heading into 2026. 2025 was a year of growth, improvement, little experimenting, and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And 2026 is shaping up to be a really exciting year. Finishing the Top 100 series, more conventions, including GameCon, more consistent uploads, and hopefully continuing to build this community into something really special. And I just want to end by saying thank you. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, commented, liked, shared, even if you just watched. I still get genuinely excited every time I see a comment pop up. It never gets old. So if you enjoyed this update, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below and tell me what kind of videos you want to see more of in 2026. And if you're feeling extra generous, share the channel with a friend who also loves board games. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, let's get another round for the table.